So I have some questions for you.
Alright.
And I'm gonna answer too, if that's okay.
Okay.
They are cosplay questions.
Alright.
One of your best cosplay memories.
Best cosplay memories. Well, the first time that we went to IHOP as Gamzee and Carcat before you even knew who Carcat was, and you immediately started taking care of my Gamzee even though you had no idea anything about Carcat. You just knew that this dope was hopeless and would get into trouble if not helped in some way or another. That was an awesome one.
Yeah, I had no idea who Carcat was.
Also, there was so much syrup on those pancakes.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Was
how
delicious.
the hell did you even handle eating that?
It was delicious.
I don't know how Gamzee.
I don't know. His stomach is made out of tougher stuff, I think. You? Are you bashful or you just can't think of anything?
Just can't think of, like, best. Like, I've had so many good ones.
Yeah. I don't want to call mine the best.
So trying
Just
to
a good
pick
one.
the best.
Pick a good
well, okay, doing that photo shoot at A-Fest actually was a highlight of my entire cosplay life. That was really cool. That one. And we got to be a cute couple.
Yeah.
Like, that made me feel very confident in cosplaying. I felt confident the entire time. I didn't once feel insecure, even though I couldn't see at all. But I felt like, yes, this is what it has come down to, and I feel really, really good about it. So that was exciting. That was thrilling. That was a good time.
That was a good one.
Have you ever met someone involved in the creation of a series you've cosplayed from?
Yes. I've met the creators of Welcome to Night Vale at the Welcome to Night Vale live show.
Same.
In cosplay of their characters, which was pretty great, and also meeting the voice actor, meeting Cecil. We didn't get to meet Dylan, but we did get to meet Cecil, and you were Cecil when you met Cecil, so that was pretty awesome. And I think you might have said something clever about "Hi, I'm you," or vice versa, or did you not?
Unfortunately, I lost my ability to speak because Cecil's voice was in front of him. So how do you speak when your voice is staring you in the face, sort of thing, like that type of thing? But honestly, I was a little like, wait, I have no. I mean, we have it on film. I did say something, but I don't even remember what I really said. I was definitely more of like, oh my.
It was awesome. It was definitely a starstruck moment. Getting to meet the writers was actually a cool experience.
Yeah, that was
because I rarely
really cool.
get to meet. You know, I've met several voice actors in, you know, at cons and stuff, but you don't usually get to meet the production staff and the writers of things. So meeting the writers was kind of really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. I've also spoken to Yoon Koga over email a few times, and well, that was exciting because I love Loveless. She's the one who created Loveless and draws it and stuff, and well, that felt really special. Cosplay pet peeves.
Oh gosh. People who don't know anything about cosplay trying to tell you how to do like family members and stuff that don't know anything about it, but they're like, I saw this thing, it looked Japanese, maybe you would like it, it would go for your cosplay, and you're just like, thanks, Grandma.
Yeah, that can be annoying. I think my biggest pet peeve, the thing that I always dread getting in and out of, is definitely washing off troll paint. Skin paint is my pet peeve because putting it on, taking it off, oh, it always gets under my skin, literally, like in my pores, and then it breaks me out, and I get all these face demons. Like, my face right now is after con face, which is just face demons galore. I hate them. Stupidest thing you've ever done in cosplay?
Can we just write this whole one as just Gamzee, period? Gamzee in giant letters, period. That's it, just the whole thing.
That works. Mine would have to be Matuna. The stupidest thing I have ever done is try to go down an escalator on a skateboard. And Matuna really was going to make me do it. And I truly, in my brain, was kind of like, I think we could make this happen. Because he was going to do it one way or another. But yeah, that was the stupidest thing. Didn't end up doing it, thankfully.
Thank God. Jeez.
Yeah, thankfully that didn't actually happen. Who are 4 cosplayers you look up to?
That's kind of a weird question for me because I've never really followed other cosplayers. Like, I kind of got swept into this world without much knowledge of any of the well-known cosplayers. Really, the only other cosplayers I know are my friends. So I guess pick 4 of my friends, and that's about it.
Mine would have to be Twinfuls. Actually, was one of the reasons why I kind of started getting into the cosplay world. Like, I'd already kind of started in and then watched their videos, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I like their stuff and whatnot. I look up to KE because her skills fascinate me. I'm glad I'm dating her because I get to watch her skills in action. Rabbit, her skills fascinate me a whole lot. She's incredible at what she can do. She turns a lot of things that I'm sitting there going, that won't work, and then she immediately makes it work, and I'm like, well, I don't know how you did that. That's so cool. And then I don't really know a 4th. I could be cheesy and say I look up to myself. I guess I'll say I look up to myself because I get proud of myself whenever I improve. Here's one you better answer correctly.
Okay.
Cosplay crush.
Oh, yeah, I see how it is. Let me see.
Do you have any cosplay crushes? Do you better answer appropriately.
I don't know. There's a few people it could be.
A few? But hey, I am only one. I am not a few. I am one.
Few people it could be. Man, there's some cute cosplayers out there.
Well, yes, and maybe I'll answer them too. Which I won't, but I could. But yeah, I might.
No, dear, it's you.
Yay. Mine's you too. Who is that cosplayer who inspired you to push yourself out of your comfort zone? The camera? The audience?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
You.
He always makes me work harder, better, faster, stronger.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Well, you're the one who pushes me all the time. So, my answer is you. Yeah.
Aww, that's cute.
Question 8. What are some of the most memorable comments you've received on your cosplays?
You go first.
I just really like whenever people say, like, hey, you've improved since the last time I saw you in this character. That always makes me feel confident and happy because I'm often striving to improve and do better. So whenever somebody actually makes comment, like, I can feel all day like, man, I feel like I've improved, but there might be a part of me that's also sitting there going, God, I hope this doesn't look like shit. Maybe I should have done it the way that I did it last time. I do enjoy hearing comments of, like, you've actually improved.
I think some of the most memorable ones are when people comment on my characterization, because that's one of the things I try really hard to work towards, is when I'm portraying the character well. When people are like, you're doing a great job of this character for this reason. I love getting those, because I really feel like I'm doing the character justice and doing my acting justice, so.
Yeah, because that's one of the biggest reasons you got into all this.
It is. I'm actually more of a character actor than I am of a visual perfectionist. So I'm more of, like, I get really into bringing a character to life. So I love hearing that I'm doing an okay job at that.
Well, that kind of does feed into the next question, which is comfort over accuracy, or is it not cosplay until you're in pain?
Ooh. It depends on the character. Actually, it depends on the character and for what reason I'm playing them. Because some of the characters that I get into just for the funsies of it, just to do them, play as them, interact as them characters, kind of like Like Dave is a good example, I think, of a character that I get into just to play. He's there just to make comments and have fun and stuff. And then I have other characters where everything hurts to look like that character, but I do it because visually I want the visuals to be the first thing noticed in that one. So it depends on who it is and what reason I'm doing them for.
What character would you say is your most painful to be in?
Ooh.
I mean, that's not part of the questions, but...
Most painful to be in or just most difficult? Kind of... Tavros was one of the most painful just because of the horns.
Yeah, you've had a lot of problems with those horns. One
of my most difficult ones is really signless, to be honest, because it is a cincher style top, and I have to put all the troll paint over my top half because there's no good place to hide gloves with that. And then there's a cape, and the cape's difficult to get on and off the head. And then there is the wig and the horns are normal, but I also have contacts with him, which make it a little hard to see. So he's a lot of layers, and a lot of layers that are really hard to get back out of. As
for me, a lot of mine are, it's not cosplay until I'm in pain. Just, I do that because there are a lot of characters that I enjoy, but they don't actually have very many features to them that won't hurt regardless. Matuna is one of them. That helmet really does hurt. I can't really see out of it. With a wig on, it actually cuts into my head. I had my manager actually think that I had been hurt at con, like assaulted or something, because I came into work with a ginormous cut across my forehead. And they were like, oh my god, did you get hit? What happened? And I was like, actually, that is a wig cap cut into my head because the wig was being pushed in by then a helmet that was being pushed in. And I was in that for hours upon hours. And then Sapphire, that one was a lot of heat. That was a lot of very difficult to move and can't see with those bangs. So I do have a lot of characters that I tend to go for the accuracy versus my comfort. Although heels have turned into a thing of, yes, the character wears heels, but sometimes I do have to transfer to flats because of my bad ankles. But other than that, I generally try to push myself a lot further. But I don't recommend it. It hurts. Try to find a way to compensate. That's what I keep trying to now do, is find a way to compensate, of making it where you make the adjustment. You find, okay, well, the helmet is making this cut into my head, so what I did was I actually adjusted the helmet a whole lot by cutting out pieces and whatnot and made it a lot more comfortable. So just making some adjustments so that you can still be accurate, but you're not in pain. But I don't recommend it for everybody. You don't have to hurt to look great. You don't have to hurt to have fun. Okay, have you ever been cosplay typecasted? Like, do you have a typecast where people just kind of associate you with only one of your cosplays and expect that from, like, all? You know what typecasting means?
Yes.
Yes.
Gosh, that's a hard question to answer for yourself. 'Cause you're
okay, well, do you want to answer it for each other?
Sure.
Who you think, like, we've been typecasted as?
Yeah, sure.
I think you have been typecasted as, like... Okay, well, actually, I've seen two that you get typecasted as.
Okay.
Gamzee or Carcat?
You think?
Yes.
Small and angry, or lazy and a little insane?
Yes. I see that.
When I first started cosplaying, I got typecasted as the scared shy type a whole lot, because one of my first big ones was Krona from Soul Eater,
yes.
Directly followed by Tavros.
Yeah, so everybody thought that you wanted to be just the shy quiet.
Yeah, that happened for a little bit.
I don't know, I tend to like, if there's a character that's either like loud and angry, I think that's why I even like Ruby. because of
Yeah.
Karkat, because of your Karkat, and then I saw Ruby behave that way, and I was like, oh, you should be Ruby. But then also, yes, there can be that sloppy character like Amethyst, and I kind of want you to be Amethyst too,
Yeah,
because of how your
there's
Gamzee is. So yes, I've kind of typecasted you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Yeah. Who do you think I have been typecasted
The
as?
flamboyant type.
Yes.
You're over the top flamboyant. You've got Roxy. You've got Tamaki.
I've yet to ever do Tamaki.
You haven't actually you've role played Tamaki before.
Yes.
But
I
it's
want
just
to do
that-
Tamaki.
It's that personality type that's just like the hi. Your America is also very like hey, in your face, kind of very energetic and flamboyant is the word I think for the typecast. You tend to be either flamboyant or very, very quiet, like 2 words type of quiet characters.
I myself am flamboyant.
Yeah.
I feel no shame for being flamboyant. My personality is flamboyant, and I will never be ashamed of that. I'm either very flamboyant, or I am very quiet, and so yeah, I can see how I'm typecasted that way, because that's just my natural personality. Is there a type of character you'll never cosplay?
I don't think so, actually. I don't think I have a firm limit. I mean, there are limits I'll go to, like, I wouldn't cosplay somebody from, like, a hentai or anything like that, probably. But type of character, like, I'd never be a villain or something. No, I'm pretty much willing to try it.
The cool thing is yeah, you can go from comedical to villainous to all sorts of, you have a wide range in your acting ability and your just desire to be
Because the kind
and portray.
of thing I think that happens sometimes is people associate too much of yourself with your character selection. So if you select an evil character, there might be some part of you that's a bad person.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that's true. And
No.
I think keeping that in mind makes it easier for me to select a villain character or a bad character, a character who's an absolutely awful person.
Yeah.
Because it would be an interesting experience to portray them while still being able to hold myself, back far enough and go, okay, well, I don't actually think this is okay. I don't think murder is okay, but I can play a character who does.
Yeah. I think that's great acting ability. Like, you don't ever have to agree with how the character... And I think the more angry people get at it, like, if you're playing a villain and people get angry, that means you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Like, you're portraying that well.
If you're
If people
drawing
are
the
getting
correct
rageful.
emotion out of other people with that character, then you're doing a good job.
Yeah, you're actually doing that correct. Now, there should always be a hard line of, like, never go too far. Like, at a con, don't step into somebody's bubble for real. Maybe intimidate them and make them feel like you're going to, but don't actually do it. There should be those firm boundaries and lines. Even though your character, yes, may be the type to come up and punch somebody right in the face, never actually do that at con. Like, but make them feel like you might, but never do it.
Exactly. You don't ever want to cross a line and hurt an actual human being with a bad character. But there's a certain degree, there's dropping character for a few seconds. You can confirm with people, hey, is it okay if I pick you up and swing you around? I promise I won't drop you. And talk to somebody, even out of character for a second, if it helps you portray your character well.
Yeah.
And in that sense, I don't see any harm in playing any specific type of character if you're able to make draw those hard limits. And
Well, yeah, because, like, whenever you were being Russia, for instance, at A-Fest, I was America, and you did end up, like, closing my nose and you closed my mouth with one hand. And yes, Russia, being Russia, might actually try to suffocate America, but you and I have that trust.
Right.
And we've also agreed, just confirmation ahead of time, that is okay. Because I know you won't actually suffocate me. I'm not going to turn blue in the face. But the fear is real because I still, out of nowhere, am being, choked a little bit. Just give him a little choke. But I have trust that you're not actually going to let me turn blue or actually struggle. And yeah, you would never do that to somebody you don't know. You may make them fear like, oh god, this person's unpredictable, they might hurt me. But you're never actually going to touch them or anything like that. or the most touch you're going to give them is maybe a little crawl of your fingers up their spine whenever they're not realizing it, and might make them jump a little. But nothing ever too far, nothing where you've made that wrong.
And like I said, I think
cross.
if you are willing to, you know, draw those lines and know where those lines are at, there's really no limit as to what type of character you should or shouldn't play.
I think for me, though, there are a few that I just probably don't want to. Not that I think I can't. I think there are just some characters that I would prefer not to, which are kind of the more douchebaggy characters, like the meathead attitudes. I don't really like those ones as much, like the jockish meathead. I don't think I could ever find that part of myself. I think it would just be kind of comical to watch me try to be a meathead in all actuality. So there's my character type that I will draw the line on and not do. Most embarrassing cosplay memory. What have you felt the most embarrassment about? What has haunted you for years that you've done? Or that has just happened?
My first cosplay? We've talked about this in another video, but my horribly weeaboo trash OC thing that I wore the first time I ever cosplayed, that's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life.
Oh. I think mine was my first attempt of CL, and I took him to a park and got hardcore made fun of. I had a very terrible wig. Let's just put it at that. I could probably even find a picture and post it. I had a very terrible wig, and these kids saw, and yes, granted they were younger than me, but they sure as hell didn't look it. And they were making hardcore fun at these little teenagers, and they were like, haha, you look like a grandpa. Haha, why you dressed as a grandpa? It's not Halloween. And it really upset me, because I was like, you have no idea how much money, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like really upset, and I went home and felt really angry and was like, well, damn it. I've got to do better at CL, try to make him look better, but that was very, very embarrassing. But honestly, I do look back at it, and I'm like, man, he looked like a little grandpa. What the heck was up with my wig? I bought it from a Halloween store, and, well, I got what I paid for, and I wasn't happy with it by any means. I thought I was going to be happy with it, but then everybody made fun of me. At the park. No, so that was embarrassing. Oh, good times. It's great to look back at your first few cosplays and be like, you know, at least I did get better. Like, at least I have pride to go, like, yes, I did get better, thankfully. But yeah, looking back at it, I'm like, yeah, they weren't wrong. Like, it's wrong of them to make fun of me, but they're not wrong because I did look like a grandpa. Meh. Most embarrassing cosplay photo. Oh my god, can we find these? Oh my god, can we find these?
The ones that have been deleted, or like the ones that have actually made it to the web? Because I know there's been some up-the-nose shots from some photo shoots that are just... nah.
Very embarrassing. I have quite a few that I'm embarrassed by. Again, at least I got better. I do feel better about that.
I feel like there's embarrassing shots in every photo shoot. Like, every cosplay photo shoot has at least 3 horribly embarrassing shots. Like, the one where you didn't know the camera was on, where you're like, I'm itching my wig! Camera goes off.
Yeah.
Like, I swear I'm not a model.
Yeah.
There's
I've had
like,
many where
open
I'm
mouth
talking.
shot where you're talking and
my
and then,
eyes squinty, I'm talking, I'm like, her. I'm like, what is my face?
I'm over here in Kanaya and I'm just like...
Yeah. Those happen. No biggie. Those happen. Who is your cosplay crew, aka the people you collab with the most? Well, I think that one's a little bit obvious.
Kind of, yeah. Probably the crew you guys have seen us go to cons with is the primary crew at the moment, just because we're all friends, we all live close, and we all hang out. Everybody else lives a little bit further away and is a little bit harder to just do stuff with that often.
Best bystander experience. Like somebody who has no idea what any of this is.
Oh!
You're in cosplay, and this poor bystander's like, what is this?
There was a man, we were doing cosplay in public when we first got into the Homestuck fandom. And we had the troll horns on and everything. There was a man that came down an aisle at Walmart and was like, "Are you guys devils?"
That one was hilarious.
No, we're trolls. He's like, "You look like devils." That was a pretty...
It was also very late at night at Walmart, so that man probably was, you know, a little happy on the juice.
Not entirely sober, yeah.
A little happy on that juice.
That was an interesting night.
It was a very interesting conversation with that man, because, yeah.
Another thing I always like is
the,
at A-Con usually was really bad about, there was always business meetings going on in the hotel one walkway over. And there would just be these men in suits kind of lingering at the end of one of the sky bridges doing this number. Judgingly looking down the hall, but looking terrified to walk any further.
I think my best one, as far as, like, it made me happy, didn't make me upset, or anything like that. We were filming a video back in the day, back when I was filming just mostly by myself and whatnot, but we were filming a video, and this little tiny girl comes out, and she was like, "Oh my god, you're a cat," because I was in Yoji, and the person I was filming with was in Ritsuka, and she got all excited, and her eyes just lit up, and she was like, "Oh my god, you're a cat, just a second." And she, like, runs off, and we're still at the park, and the park's in a neighborhood. All of a sudden, she comes back in a full cat suit. And she is just ready to go, and she wanted to film, and I was like, okay, that's cute, but also I don't want to film a child. I mean, this was back when YouTube was still not, like, the biggest thing. Nobody really knew what that was. So I don't want to be this creep at the park filming a child, by any means. Well, then her mom shows up, and is like, "I'm so sorry if she's bothering you, but she saw you guys as cats, and she really wanted to put her cat suit on, and I hope you don't mind." And we're like, "Actually, no, it's fine. She's really cute and whatnot." And I was like, "Is it okay? She wants to be filmed. Is that okay?" And she was like, "Yes." She was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It's cosplay. It's where we're dressed up as anime characters." And she was like, "I love anime." And that was, like, the best thing, but she'd never heard of cosplay. She loved anime. So we got to film with her daughter, and it was very cute, and she was just happy as could be. And I don't know, it made my day. I like little kids and cosplay. Like, yeah. I don't know, it's something very sweet, because I want to put my kid in cosplay.
I've had a few cool experiences as characters from kids shows.
Yeah, your Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash. I've had a few times where I've had little small children get really excited because they want to see Rainbow Dash, and they're so happy, and I'm like, this is so cool, because this show was made for you. It was made for the little kids. It was made to make small children happy, and so when a kid sees me in a cosplay from a show that's for kids, I don't know, I just get really happy that they're getting to have this experience. It's kind of like a tiny version of Disney, like they get to meet a character from a show they like. And, you know, you get it in probably Steven Universe a lot, and it's just really cool because they're so small, and they get to have this thing they'd never get to do any other way, because there's not professional Rainbow Dashes and professional Steven Universe characters, there's just cosplayers.
Yeah, and it's great to be that person who's nice to them and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
and give them an experience that they can talk
kids,
about and enjoy.
I love creating an experience for them. I think it's very important too.
That makes their day.
It does. It makes them so happy. They're gonna remember that for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. Like... That's so awesome. Question 16. Best photo shoot.
Alrighty, I'm gonna say this last A-Fest.
Yes, last A-Fest. Best photo shoot. That Ruby and Sapphire one was so fun.
Fun times.
And you got to pick me up and twirl me.
I did. It was awesome.
I trusted you. It was good. I know. Yay. I'm glad I trusted you. It turned out well.
I didn't throw you.
Oh, well, number 17 we've already answered.
What's that?
Ever had any interactions with kids while you've been in cosplay?
Oh, okay, yeah.
We've already answered that. Number 18. Any funny experiences being misidentified as a certain character? I already know your answer. Are you Bill Cipher?
You Bill Cipher? Yeah, that's a...
You got that quite a few times.
I was in Stripperville Kevin, who is my one Kevin that doesn't have any blood on him. Because his AU is not as bloody of a thing as Desert Bluff. So he's just, you know, bright yellows, blonde and black hair, and heels and thigh highs and stuff like that. So apparently I look like Bill Cipher, or a version of Bill Cipher, as Stripperville Kevin, and I got asked like 6 times in a row, "Oh my god, are you cosplaying Bill Cipher?"
Which you don't watch Gravity Falls at all.
Actually.
I don't either. So I actually didn't know who that was. I was like, I'm confused.
And I'm just like, apparently I'm a Dorito.
You're a Dorito.
I know this much about Gravity Falls. It's mostly because of a lot of crossover fandom between Night Vale and Gravity Falls, but apparently I'm a Dorito.
I don't think I've ever been misidentified in character.
I think your Ritsuka has been taken for a general cat boy before.
Yeah, people have just kind of been like, so did you throw on some of yours? But whenever I explained that's a character, they were like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I have misidentified somebody because of Loveless. I was going around AX, and I saw this guy who had longish black hair and black cat ears on. And I thought he was being Seme because he was wearing just a black shirt. And I went up to him and asked for a picture with him because I was in Yoji. He had no idea who I was, what I was talking about. I was like, are you not being Seme? He was like, my girlfriend threw these ears on me, and I just went with it. And I was like, you are not at all. And then I looked to his girlfriend and I was like, do you even know Loveless? And she was like, I have no clue. That was an awkward moment, especially since you're at an anime con. And you're like, oh, this has to be. There. And so I told him, I was like, well, you're spot on. So if you ever want to. And he was like, well, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. But I felt really awkward.
The sex toy shop with your Sobi.
Oh! I could actually talk about that.
You should tell that one, because that's pretty funny shit.
But a weird story as far as being misidentified. It wasn't like I was being misidentified as a different character or anything like that. I actually went into an adult store, my first time ever going in, and I went in my full Ritsuka outfit. We had been wandering around and stuff like that in cosplay out in public, and then we decided to just kind of like drop on by. My first ever experience in a shop like that. And so I had a collar on, I had the ears on, and I'm walking around with my friend, and the cashier actually thought something that I actually didn't know at all about. Innocent young bab. I was just like, what? And she thought I was a cute submissive, and that I was into pet play, and awkward. Because that's not all what I was trying for or anything like that, and now that I know about that stuff, I'm like, oh god.
You really looked like you were someone's pet being led around an adult toy store.
I sure did, buddy. I sure did. I have nothing against it, like, not trying to get that. I just simply was not at all meaning to be like that. Like, I was already in Ritsuka, walking around, whatever. I didn't know that existed. I was young. The adult toy stores and adult world was still pretty new to me. That, yeah, well, now I know better. But yes, the lady did think that I was a submissive, and I wondered why she didn't seem to like directly ask me questions. She asked my friend direct questions, like for my ID, which I did think was weird, but I didn't really think much of it because I'd never been in a store like that. So I was like, oh, my ID, yes. But then my friend like snatched it from me and handed it to her because she asked my friend for my ID. And I was like, I'm confused, but okay, I don't know how this world works. You know, maybe the first one in the door gets to hand the IDs off. I don't know. And so, well,
You
yeah.
poor, sweet, innocent dad. You were so innocent.
I've been corrupted now, but I was very
That's
innocent.
so funny.
I had no idea that world existed. The most I knew about that world, I didn't even really know much about the varieties of stuff. I knew the very minimal. So yeah, that world opened up to me pretty quick. But I still didn't know. My friend giggled about it, but she wouldn't tell me what was going on.
Your friend was a Sobe cosplay.
My friend was in Sobe cosplay.
So yeah, of course,
Was
the Sobe's
chuckling
going
the entire time, but wouldn't explain to me and just was chuckling, but I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't until years later, and I was like, wait, pet play. And everybody told me about it, and I was like, oh my god, that explains everything! And I felt like, and now I share my shame. You know what? Ignorance was bliss. It was bliss. I could have just stayed ignorant to the fact that I got called somebody submissive. What's something you've made that looks decent in photos, but in reality, you just royally half-assed?
Half the things I make.
Can we say my Solix glasses?
There's those.
Which are dead and gone and broken, but the first pair that I had made were pretty half-assed, but they did look good in photos.
The first pair I made were also half-assed and looked really great because they were cut out of a 3D glasses from a children's book, and
then
they
glued
were
on.
glued to wireframes. Like they were literally 3D
You could see the glue.
plasticky, yeah. But they look really good in photos.
Yeah, they look great in
You wouldn't be able
photos.
to tell when you look at them up close. You're just like, ugh.
Yeah. Alright, last one. Name a cosplay cheat.
A cosplay cheat?
Yes.
The iron-on Stitch Witch stuff.
That stuff is magic.
Iron one side of it on, and then you peel the tape up, and you fold your fabric over it, and you iron it again, and you don't have to sew anything.
That stuff is magic.
You cannot, however, run it through a dryer.
Yes, please don't. Don't.
Once you've done that, you can't run it through a dryer. But otherwise, yeah, that's the best cheat ever. You're like, I need this to be seamless and fold under.
Eyeshadow. You can get your lips to match your eyes. Or you can just get that color that you can't seem to find in lipstick. Also, it lasts a long time. It doesn't rub off as easy. So, eyeshadow as lipstick. I have been doing that for Roxy, and now it just works for everybody that I do. Well, this has been fun. Thank you for the cosplay 20 questions.
20 questions. That was pretty great.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. And also remember, though, that no matter what, at the end of the day, we're all just nerds in cosplay. Just have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, you're not doing it right. So just please have fun with it. That's what's the most important thing. That's gonna be the thing that you're going to remember, was the good times that you had.